Hello, it's Nikki. I'm an actor, a personal branding coach, a writer, a speaker, a podcaster, mum of two. I'm here for the personal brand chat. Today, I want to support you and I want to say that I understand because I've been there and maybe I will be there again. Who knows? And I want to share some support around that moment that you might be having, which is like, nothing is working. Nothing's working. Why am I putting all this effort in? I'm doing all of the things and it's not happening. Why? And that can really escalate very quickly. And it's like one of those things that once you get out of bed the wrong way, there's probably not a right way to get out, but you know the analogy. And then you get in the shower and the water's cold and you're like, oh God, the water's cold. And then somebody's drunk the last of the milk, so you can't have your tea. Then you can't find the pants and that you want to be wearing with the thing. And very quickly, if you don't let yourself check in and stop and really understand what's going on and debate whether it's true or not, this is really key, you can quickly go down a bit of a crazy loop-the-loop, self-destructive situation. So the first thing that I want to share is when you feel like nothing's working, no matter what you're seeing online, most people, even if they're successful now, they will have had moments where nobody's watching, nobody cares, when they haven't had a lot of money in their bank account, or they've probably had a situation in their life where they felt like they didn't know how to move forward or what to do. Like, most people have had some tough times. Most people. I doubt, especially if you're like of an adulting age, I doubt there are many people who just skip through life and everything is perfect. So even though you might be looking online and thinking everybody's life is perfect though, why have they all got it figured out and I haven't? You have to check in and think whether that's true. My friend Lucy Sheridan does loads of work around this, around comparison. The fact that you're probably seeing somebody's highlights online and you have to really analyze whether that is a true state of what is going on for them right now. Point number 2 is to go back to, I guess, what is working. So it can be very easy to get into that track of like, nothing's working. Why isn't it happening quick enough? I sent that email and they haven't like got back to me, or any of that sort of stuff. So just acknowledge the things that are working. So if you're waiting for a reply because you pitched something and you didn't hear back from them, like, acknowledge the fact that you have put that email together. You now have that content. You now have the body of that paragraph that you can send to other people. There's going to be other opportunities. You can copy and paste that, add some more kind of opportunities in the mix. But taking a moment and really understanding what is working will probably give you a sense of much more than you think. Because again, if we go back to that, nothing's working, it's awful, look at my bank account, we're seeing evidence of this everywhere, it can be really frustrating. So if you can flip it wherever you can, look at the positives, that's really going to help you, because also it's going to set you up for the next phase, for like getting into the right frame of mind to pick yourself up and go back in the game again. The third thing I want to say is, when you're in that place of nothing's working, your temptation might be to hang out with people who also want to moan about it, who also want to go, oh my God, yeah, it is awful. Like, I haven't had a client for ages. Like, nobody seems to want to pay at the moment. Oh, that's really happening a lot in the industry. And in that moment, I want to encourage you, before you pick up that phone, before you send that WhatsApp or that voice note or whatever it is, like, I know how you think because I've been there as well. take a moment and think about how could you change things in this situation? What could you do instead? As Gabby Bernstein says, like, could you choose again? So could you put on a podcast episode that's going to be inspiring, that's going to lift you up? Could you go and get some fresh air? Could you have a big gulp of water? Because actually when you get water in your body, your brain is going to function in a better way. Could you do any of those things? Could you do something that like raises you up again, that is going to like give you that boost to get back in the game again? Also, notice and remember what you've done in the past. You know, even if your current situation is what it is right now, let's not forget about all the brilliant things that you've done. And sometimes people can feel like consistency is an issue. So they might start something and then stop something, or they might feel like they're not the type of person to do X, Y, and Z. And here's my answer to this. Remember when you went to school? You went to school, well, I assume almost every day. You kept that habit up for a long period of time because it was non-negotiable. You had to do it, like otherwise you'd have the authorities knocking on your door. You know, going to school was part of most people's childhood. So one thing I want to say is, what could you introduce that is non-negotiable? A small habit, something maybe that you link to something else that you do. So for example, I go through phases where I'm really good at remembering stuff and I do it consistently, and then I kind of fall in a little bit. And this year, one of my goals, not business related at all, was to introduce more foods to my son's diet. Because when I was pregnant and in the early days of having my daughter, I was not going, okay, children, let's make this culinary delight. Let me like astound you with my new recipe. It was like, let's get people fed and let's just do the bare minimum. So this year I was like, right, I'm going to add more food. Also, I've started giving him, this is not about like whether you choose to give your children vitamins or anything like that. But what I have done to make sure I remember is I link it. So we go in the bathroom to brush his teeth, but he does his vitamin first. So the two habits are connected. So whenever you feel like you might get yourself in those situations where something's not working, or you allow yourself to go down that dark hole of like frustration, or you self-sabotage, or you get those unhealthy habits, start to connect it with something that you can do that you know is going to pull you out. And it's going to be an interesting one. I want to know what works for you, actually, because I know we all should have this wallow moment. Of course, we're welcome to it, you know, where we have that moan of like, nothing's working, I can't move forward, etc. But you don't need to stay in that for long. You know, you've got so much to share, you've got so much to do, you've got so much to offer, and we want to see it. So let us, please, that would be great. All right, thank you so much for watching, for listening, and there's loads of resources on my website, and I'll catch you again very soon. See ya. Bye.